Dream is the projection of dynamics from life scenarios that take place parallelly. Is it possible to realize the synthesis of these low levels of Arglamuni and Glimmelisa centers in such states which are called out-of-body travel or lucid dreaming? That is, when you are present in exactly the same real world, you have a form, but at the same time you understand that you are outside the physical body and can model any situation. That is, if you model a situation, then does the full synthesis of these levels take place at the same time? I was already asked about lucid dreams, and then they told me that I did not say anything about it. That when entering the lucid dream and realizing in something, you never return to the former scenario. Every time, the ones who enter lucid dreams, in the scenarios in which they entered this state, the corpses are always found. That is, you entered the lucid dream, the scenarios, yes. Later, you came out of the lucid dream, but you came out from completely different scenario, and depending on what you were realizing in state of lucid dreaming, refocusing, revitalization occurred precisely in the direction in which the focus of your close attention has realized in the greatest extent. But in principle, the powerful synthesis happens. The same synthesis as in reality. Because a dream is the projection of the dynamics that takes place in parallel life scenarios. But because the frequency changes, the refraction takes place through the perception form. Then, in the more flagrant remote scenario, you realize yourself through your dream. Then the refraction happens in higher degree. To a greater extent, this happens in the form of archetyping. From the word archetype, the events that in fact happen to you in parallel reality. But falling out of dream, that is, falling out in the form of revitalization, doesn't happen. But according to my observations, in fact, with every lucid dream in such scenarios, where it took place and where this dream began, there always is left a corpse. I think that this is due to the fact that a fairly intensive experience is acquired in some direction of development. Takes place the interqualitative synthesis, and as always during the process of interqualitative synthesis, a corpse is formed. In lucid dream, when there is some kind of realization, either of Inglimilisa or Arglamuni centers, there is never any satisfaction. Does that mean that we constantly return to non-qualitative forms? For example, there is no orgasm or such revitalization that would trigger a satisfaction. No, you perceive realization from the position of your physiological field. That is, you want to get an orgasm there, just like a biological orgasm. In fact, the realization happens in a greater extent on the self-cognition at such or other situations, by feelings, by tactility, by orientation, for example, in relation to something, to some actions, to actions of someone or something, takes place more deep realization. there is something else. It happens too. In lucid dream, it is easy enough to get such feelings that exceed any physiological orgasm. Just someone may not be able to achieve it, and someone can. It can happen for the ones whose lower levels not yet synthesized in the sufficient degree. Because of the influence of these levels, there is an opportunity for sufficiently fast resonance. Orgasm is the resonance not from the position of chemistry, but from the position of experience, sensations. Or the second option, the realization of sexual activity can occur at high levels, and this too cannot lead to sensations of biological orgasm, because there are other frequencies involved, other levels of realization. In general, in a lucid dream, you can get everything you want. The only thing, it depends on how much you want it and how much your configuration is ready to do it. If this is desirable in the form of a light interest, then the lucid dream is realized at the level of light interest. If it is powerful need to be realized, where you are not able to realize yourself physically, say it doesn't exist on a physical plane, then you set a program for yourself, for example, the realization of first or second levels of Anglimelisa centers. You set the program, set the goal, and start to enter a lucid dream. Each one has his own method, and consistently realize all that you planned for yourself. And then all that you planned for yourself, this is what happens, this is what realized. In fact, it turns out that you refocus to such scenarios where this situation is possible, where there is, say, a certain building or a house. It is a particular house, a particular building. These are particular people. If you met these people in your life, you would have learned that this is him, and he was here in such clothes. During a second lucid dream, you can notice that the same person is dressed differently. The same person, but during your different lucid dream, he is wearing a different clothes. He is with different people, he can behave somewhat differently, and so on. This is a very interesting technique for such a specific state of self-consciousness. At these levels, it can be some sort of escape, but nevertheless, I would in greater degree practice meditation, because with lucid dreams I too, when began, entered this state. Then I realized that it's addictive, pulls you in, not into some high-quality situations, circumstances, but reveals in general and stimulates and realizes such what is not synthesized at the lower levels.